All right, let's look at the homework 3.3, problem number 10. So we want to find the 23rd derivative of x times sine of x. All right, so let's do that. All right, so I'm going to let f of x to be x times sine of x, right? So let's take a bunch of derivatives. First derivative, f prime of x is equal to, all right, so we're going to use the product rule to take the derivative, right? Derivative of the first is 1 times the second sine of x plus first is x times the derivative of sine of x is cosine of x, right? So if you clean it up, you're going to get sine of x plus cosine of x cosine of x. Actually, we didn't really have to do this. All right, and then second derivative, another derivative. All right, so if you take the derivative of sine of x, you're going to get cosine of x plus. All right, here we have to use a product rule. So this is the first guy, this is the second guy. All right, derivative of the first guy is 1 times the second guy is cosine of x plus first guy is x times derivative of the second guy is negative cosine of x. So this becomes, right, by combining cosine of x and another cosine of x, we're going to get the 2 cosine of x, and then it's going to be negative x cosine of x, right? Then we take another derivative, so we're going to get this, or actually, did I make a mistake? Yeah, I did. Sorry about that. All right, so derivative of cosine is negative sine, so I should have put the negative sine of x there. And this is going to be negative sine of x. All right, sorry about that. All right, take third derivative. All right, so this is going to be derivative of 2 cosine of x is negative 2 sine of x. And then here we have to take the derivative using the product rule again. So you have first guy and second guy. All right, derivative of the first is negative 1 and times the second, so which is going to be a sine of x. And then first guy is negative x, and derivative of sine is cosine of x. Right? So if you clean it up, you're going to get the negative by combining these two. There's a negative 2 sine of x and negative 1 sine of x. So negative 3 sine of x. And then you have a minus x cosine of x, right? Let's take the fourth derivative. So fourth derivative there is equal to, right? Derivative of negative sine of x is negative 3 cosine of x. And here we're going to take the derivative using the product rule. So this is going to be negative x is the first guy, cosine of x is the second guy. So we take the derivative of the first guy is negative 1 times, and second guy is cosine of x. And then negative x times derivative cosine is negative sine, so it's going to be positive sine of x. So this is going to be, right, by combining the first negative 3 cosine of x minus cosine of x. So we're going to have negative 4 cosine of x, and then you have a plus x sine of x. All right, then let's take another derivative. So I'm going to actually put the fifth derivative up here so that since I know the pattern. So you have here derivative of the first guy is negative 4, and then derivative of cosine is negative, so it's going to be positive sine of x. And then we can use the product rule again. First guy is x, second guy is sine of x. So derivative of the first guy is 1 times second sine of x plus first guy is x. Derivative of sine of x is cosine of x. All right, so if you simplify this, this is going to be, looks like a 5 sine of x here by combining those two guys just like before. Then we're adding x cosine of x. All right, now we're beginning to see a pattern here. Right, so it looks like number-wise, you're going to have 1 sine of, so it's going to be 1 for the first derivative, and 2 for the second derivative, and 3 for the third derivative, and so on. So we know that if it's the 23rd derivative, you're going to have 23 there. All right, so we took care of that. And then let's see the pattern here. You have a sine, cosine, negative cosine. Then it's going to go back to sine, which is the same. Then, of course, the derivative is going to be cosine, negative sine, and negative cosine. So we have this cycle of 4 going. So, it repeats itself. So we have a 23rd derivative. If you take the if you divide by 4, right? So it's going to be what 5 is going to give you 20, and then remainder is going to be 3. So which means that it's going to go through this cycle 5 times. Then you have 1, 2, 3. So this is going to be the pattern negative sine of x, so minus sine of x with 23, and then you're going to have negative x cosine of x. All right, so let's type it in. So we have pattern-wise negative 23 sine of x minus x times cosine of x. All right, let's check the answer. All right, I came back and looks like we got the 23rd derivative correctly. All right, that's it. I hope that this was clear.